You break free from the dream phase and enter the plan phase when you find a foothold and start to answer some questions. This is what you want to do. Here is when you want to begin. These are the materials that you'll need. For example, the person looking to get in shape and change their diet starts making a plan. They circle a day on their calendar, they write down some specific workouts they want to do, they make a meal plan to eat foods that are good for their body. They hire a health coach or find an accountability partner. They designate the best time of the day for them to work out because they have a busy schedule as is. They also purchase or gather the materials they need to set up for success, whether that's a fresh pair of running shoes or comfortable athletic gear, since they are a few sizes up from the last time they worked out. Pros of the plan phase. The great news is your dreams, your goals, your habits are becoming realistic. You are measuring what it takes because this goal means that much to you. You are naming the specifics of when, where, and how you will do this. Cons of the plan phase. If you are a person who spent a long time in the dream phase, you can hide from your goal in the plan phase. You can use overplanning as a way of procrastinating and hiding from your goal. There are countless important tasks we want to accomplish each day, yet we often keep ourselves busy with other activities instead of focusing on our goals. Your desire to have every detail in place before you begin can paralyze you from moving forward. Remember, the key is to start, no matter how imperfectly. Tips to thrive in the plan phase. Number 1, create a menu. Sometimes we limit ourselves in what we consider progress towards our goal. There are often multiple ways to work on a goal, not just one. Decide what counts. Author Jon Acuff shares an example of his goal to read 100 books in a year. It was his goal, so he got to define what counted. Graphic novels, audiobooks, and more were included. He created a list of what counted, a sort of menu for himself, and you could do the same. Create a list of different ways you can work on your goal. If you believe that you're only fulfilling your goal by waking up at 5 a.m. to run the same route every day, what happens when it rains? You're traveling or you don't feel well. You don't have to give up for the day. Instead, choose something else from your menu. For example, if your goal is fitness-oriented, stretching can be a valid option on your list. If you're preparing for a presentation but don't have your laptop, use your phone to watch YouTube clips on public speaking tips or learn more about your subject. Just like restaurants offer various options to satisfy your hunger, your goals should have options too. Harvard scientist Dr. Ellen Langer conducted a study where she took 84 hotel maids, took various measurements of these ladies, and split them into 2 groups. Most of these ladies agreed finding time to exercise after work was difficult due to the physical demands of their job. The first group of 42 were shown how all the things they do at work have a workout exercise equivalent: walking, folding, scrubbing, etc. They were educated on how their daily routines contributed to their physical fitness. The second group of 42 were told nothing. After a month, it was found that the ladies in the first group saw a drop in weight, a change in waist to hip ratio, a change in BMI, and a lowering in blood pressure. All because they discovered they were exercising more than they thought. They were convinced it counted. If you think it counts, it counts. Create a menu of what counts. Number 2, name when and where. As I mentioned, the first big box jump, finding a foothold of time, is the hardest task for most people. In my free time never works, not consistently. If we have dreams or goals, time is never free. You will always fill your free time with something, and the default is something relaxing or fun. You must establish when. When will you work on this and how long will you work on it? If you have a goal to dedicate 2 hours a day to something, that's a great goal, but if you currently spend 0 hours on it, then maybe that's a little too ambitious unless you are single and or have loads of free time. More on this under the start phase. Answering the where question allows you to associate that chair, that room, or that table as a place where you get work done. Studies show you shouldn't eat and watch lots of TV in your bed at home. It affects your ability to use your bed for sleeping. It's the same idea with where you work on your goal. Having a spot reminds you why you are in that exact place. It's time to get to work. Number 3, make it a game. So many companies have gamified their products, but you don't even realize it. This is not to say that these companies create games, but I can open my Papa John's app and every time I buy a pizza, I get points toward getting a free pizza. This is true for Chick-fil-A, coffee shops, and clothing boutiques. There is a dopamine effect every time you get that small reward. I track habits of my own, and I have a weekly point system that gives me points for doing certain tasks each week. I score them out to a percentage. At the end of the week, I give myself a grade. This helps me be proactive and intentional. I make it a game. It's fun for me, but it might feel like work and a chore for others. No one else sees it but me, yet it keeps me engaged and it shows how I performed that week. It also encourages me to take extra steps on the final day to improve my weekly score. Tie a reward to your goal and set benchmarks along the way to keep it refreshing and engaging. Number 4, carve a path. One of my favorite takeaways from James Clear's Atomic Habits is the idea of increasing the friction for habits you want to break and decreasing the friction for those you want to develop. For example, if you want to reduce the time you spend watching Netflix or playing PlayStation, increase the friction. Put your PlayStation in a closet so you have to take it out and plug it in each time you want to use it. I've even heard of people locking their TV remotes in safes to make watching TV harder. The concept is simple. If it requires more effort, you're less likely to do it. If you really want to play, you'll make the effort to go get it. Conversely, if you want to go for a walk each morning, decrease the friction. Lay out your shoes and walking clothes the night before to make it as easy as possible for the next morning. Set yourself up for success daily. Adjusting the friction can carve a path for success. Box jump. The box jump from plan phase to the start phase is delusion. More specifically, the delusion of the perfect plan. You think if you have the perfect plan, then you will have the perfect start. Everything will be perfect, the stars will align. We don't do that here at Start Poorly. Even if we did and you convince yourself that you have the perfect plan in place, your plan will be destroyed once you actually begin. And sometimes that can destroy your confidence and morale. In short, there are things outside of your control that will come up. Having a change of mindset will help you drop the delusion of the perfect plan. More on when your plan falls apart later. To clear the box, create a simple plan with a pencil, not a complex plan with a pen. Answering these 3 questions sets you in the starting position. When, what, and how long? When will I start? What do I need to start? How long will it take for me to work on it when I start? I believe if you answer those 3 questions, you will be at that 80% point in your planning. That's enough to start poorly. In this phase, fear tells you that you have to have all the details in place, that your plan needs to be perfect. You think if you don't have everything in place, you'll do it wrong. Over-planning can paralyze you and keep you in the planning phase for too long. Sidestep the perfect plan. When I began to work on this book, I needed a notebook and a computer. I would work on it for an hour a day. Materials I used along the way changed a little, but not much. Writing every day turned into 5 days a week, but answering those 3 questions got me ready for the starting line. Following the tips above will help you move into the start phase. Don't get caught up in the delusion of a perfect plan. There is no perfect plan, and if there was, it would likely change after you start. Drop the delusion and be flexible. Plan simple in pencil, not complex in pen.